Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Lunch and Learn with GEO. Sorry, we messed up a little bit on the notices, but I think we're ready to get going. We have a disclaimer, we're recording, so watch yourselves. If you don't want to be seen, shut off your video. We have some housekeeping items. If you have questions, use the Zoom chat box. If you want to post to social media, which I wish you would, use this hashtag. We have two more scheduled webinars in October. On October 12th, show me your text. We have a nationally known guy who knows about using texts at court, how to get them and use them in court. And on October 26th, this is probably going to be the most interesting one for us, is the metaverse. We're going to talk about what the metaverse is, what it means to us, and how we're going to end up practicing in the metaverse, if at all. With that, I want to introduce our speaker today, Annette. Say hello, Annette. Hello, Annette.
Hello.
All right. See,
I was on mute. Sorry.
All right, we got you going now. Annette is really a popular, nationally known speaker and advisor on digital marketing. She has a regular podcast. I think you're going to give us the link for that too. I'm sure you are, right, Annette? And then she has a book, Click Magnet. She's going to tell us how we can order that if we're interested. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to Annette. You're on mute.
I'm on mute.
Not
Sorry.
now. Okay, there you go.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very excited to present for you guys. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Hopefully technology works with us for that. Maybe. Is that looking good?
Looks
Maybe?
good.
All right,
good.
good deal. So I'm going to talk about how to grow your law firm online. I think that this is a topic where lawyers are really starting to realize how important it is, but it's overwhelming, right? What do you do first? What order do you do it in? Do you need to be on TikTok? No, you don't. So unless you really want to be on TikTok, you don't need to be there. So these are the ways to grow your law firm online, not just for vanity metrics, but in order to get you more clients, to get you more money. Because I'm an attorney of 22 years and I'm kind of rubber hits the road. So
there's a lot of people in our leadership, and Bruce was in leadership at the time. It's a big fight.
Someone else.
All right, we took care of them.
All right, very good. So let's just get started. So first of all, 93% is a really large number. We all know that, but 93% of all online searches begin with a search engine. Now, I'm not sure what those other 7% of people are using to find things on the internet other than a search engine. It's probably like those doctors that, 1 out of 10 doesn't recommend fluoride or something. So those are the outliers. Most people are using a search engine, and it is crucial, therefore, to optimize your visibility on a search engine, which is where you get the term SEO. It's search engine optimization. You want your law firm to be optimized, to get to the very, very top of Google and other search engines. And it really isn't about vanity metrics. It really is about getting more people to see your law firm, see your expertise, your authority, your trustworthiness, so that they pick you over those competitors. So 1 is a really small number. That's the number of law firms that you own. And we want to get your law firm to the very top of Google. So I know we're all attorneys and we were told that there would be no math. Okay, but we can all agree 93 is big and 1 is small. And at the end of the day, your law firm is a business. And learning how to optimize your law firm on the internet will get you more business. Frankly, this is something that they did not teach us in law school, right? They taught us the rule against perpetuities, which I don't know who's ever even used that. This would have been, much more helpful to learn how to run a business, but they didn't teach us. But leveraging online marketing really does bring astronomical financial benefits. Long gone are the days where you would put an ad in a newspaper or the Yellow Pages, or using older forms of marketing. So if you want to market to anyone that's under, let's say, 100, you probably need to be considering digital marketing, thinking about your online digital strategy. So before we go any further, I got a wonderful introduction, but I am the founder of Lockwell. I'm a proud member of the Missouri Bar for 22 years. And I really love the intersection between marketing and law firms. It's absolutely my jam. So just so that you know, I am an attorney. We look very carefully not only at SEO, we look at correct legal information on a website. And then also it's very important to consider ethics guidelines because frankly, your website is considered in most cases advertising. So we're going to talk about that too. But it's, I think, just really important. So just before I get in further into the recipe of organic marketing and how to grow your law firm online, I want to talk about why I'm not talking about paid advertising. So paid advertising is when you pay for the Google ads or you pay for a LinkedIn ad. Organic marketing, you may pay a digital marketing agency, but organic marketing is anything where you are not doing ad spend, where, when you spend for an advertisement at the top of Google or Facebook or wherever it is. And let me explain the difference and why it's important. When you purchase ads on Google, that is like buying an apple, a really, really expensive apple. Am I right? And it's true that you'll get an apple, but it's really expensive. Organic marketing is like planting an apple tree. So it takes longer to grow, but eventually, hopefully, you're getting more apples consistently and over time. At the end of the day, when you are deciding to have organic marketing, you're in a relationship with Google. Now you've decided you're going to be in a relationship. As we all know, in relationships, you cannot go on a date and then 6 months later ask somebody to marry you out of the blue. They're like, where have you been? I haven't even seen you for 6 months. So it's a consistent relationship that you have to have with Google, consistently providing content. So if you pay Google, then you get, space at the top. To use a bit of another analogy, I'm an analogy girl. It's a digital marketing that is organic versus paid is a lot like fast food versus healthy food. Fast food, you get it fast. It doesn't always look like the picture, right? The advertisement. You don't always get what you think you're going to get, and kind of you feel a little sick afterwards. And then really organic marketing, it just takes longer, but it's good for you. So with that said, here's the healthy recipe that I'm going to give you to grow your law firm online. Now,
so this is when we have to start taking notes. Is that it, Annette?
Yes, break out the pencil and piece of paper or whatever you've got. Yes, absolutely. So this is a recipe, and this is not only a recipe where you dump everything in, it has to be in this order. I didn't make this order. It's not proprietary. I do not have intellectual property rights to it. This is just what Google likes. It's what sort of digital marketers now collectively know and believe really, really, frankly, works. So the very first thing you need is a brand. Now, why do you need a brand? Now, before you think that this is woo-woo and I'm going to make you make a vision board, not that there's anything wrong with vision boards, but before you think that this is woo-woo and tune me out, listen, there's no math, but there is. 47,000 law firms are in the United States. So how are you going to stand out? There's a bunch of personal injury attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, business attorneys, intellectual property attorneys. What makes you different? What makes you stand apart from your competition? Brand building is really the cornerstone of everything else, of your website, of social media, of everything else. It differentiates you from all of your competitors. And really what it is that a brand is connecting the emotional side of a business with a concrete experience. So you're saying that when they see this, they know, oh, okay, you do personal injury, you do estate planning. And branding is much more than just a logo and a font and a color. It really supports and enhances your SEO because it shows a cohesive business across everything, across, your business card, to your website, to absolutely everything. So when a business is consistently showing a strong EAT score, it's called an EAT score. It's expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. And this is what Google absolutely looks for on certain websites that are called YMYL. There's another analogy, your money or your life. So financial websites, legal websites, all of these types of websites where your money or your life is involved, Google is really looking to see whether you are showcasing expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. And a lot of this can be done at the very beginning in your brand. So how do you build a good brand? Well, I'm glad you asked. So the first thing you do is you begin early, but don't worry. They say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. There, as we all know, even Coca-Cola rebrands, right? So if you don't have a brand or if you don't like your brand, you can rebrand at any time, but make sure that you don't skip over this part. Okay. It's like when you take the ACT, if you skip over the instructions, you're probably not going to get the questions right. This is just the really important foundational piece. The second thing is you really need to identify your ideal client and your target audience. Now, again, please don't skip this step because you know who the people are that you love to work with. And I bet that you know the people that you do not like working with. Those clients that are just a pain to work with. We all have them. So sit down and really think about them for a hot minute and what they have in common. And then say, I don't want to target that. I want to target this over here. I have an estate planning attorney, and she really focuses in on the African American community. That's what differentiates her from, now she'll take anyone, but that's what differentiates her. So really think about your ideal client. There's a woman in Iowa that I work with, and she only does high net worth divorces. And she does a lot of those that deal with farms, actually. So, there's a large farming community there. She knows that those are her ideal clients. So really make sure to take time to figure out who your client is and obviously your practice area. A criminal defense attorney is not going to have the same kind of branding as an estate planning attorney, obviously. So after you really know who you're going after you really know who your favorite clients to work with are, then you can figure out your core message. So what makes you unique? What's the story of why you started in law? Why do you practice this particular area of law? Why are you different than your competitor? So let's think about it. Maybe you offer flat fees. Okay. Maybe you make the process easier. Maybe you have the most wins in your area in personal injury. What makes you different? There's a DUI attorney that I work with, and when she was in law school, she got a DUI and she thought, this is it. My whole career that I'm not even graduated yet and everything is over. And it wasn't. She got through it. And she decided she was going to build, after that experience, a DUI law firm that only focuses on DUIs. And she's a kinder, gentler DUI lawyer. She not only helps people get out of their DUI or work through that process, she helps them get into recovery programs. She helps them work with counselors. So it's a completely different perspective. And her whole tagline is, I care about people, because I was there. So that's a different message than most DUI attorneys. So it's really important to have that. Now, after you know who your ideal client is and your core message, now we're getting into the design. And, listen, you guys often give tough love to your clients, even when they don't want to hear it. So This is the moment where I give some tough love also as a professional digital marketer. There are certain design elements that look dated. Okay. The legal industry is slow to change. We all know that. But as we are all moving into digital marketing, okay, and as the lawyers and law firms are doing that as well, there are certain design elements that look dated. We've all been to a website that looks dated, right? You know it when you see it. And sometimes, just like an avocado green kitchen was really hot in the 70s, and it kind of isn't now, there are certain design elements that look dated. And if you have a logo, here it comes. If you have a logo that has a gavel or has the scales of justice, unless that is being done in a really modern way, your logo might just look like tens of thousands of other law firm logos. So it's really important to just take the time to consider whether or not your logo and whether or not your branding is really representing the forward thinker and the great lawyer that I know you are, right? So you have to think about that, and you also have to think about if your slogan or your tagline is really, really affecting or showcasing, is what I'm trying to say, exactly who you are as a lawyer, how you are different. So the last step in branding is that you can't just build it and they will come. And I'll say this a couple more times, you really have to put that out there, not just on a business card, but you have to make sure that it's cohesive. Your Google business profile looks like your Facebook, looks like your Instagram, looks like your website, looks like LinkedIn. It's all got to kind of be cohesive, look the same, and then you've got to promote yourself. So, and again, you don't have to run and chase after every new little design thing you don't have to do that, but really do take the time to look and then look at your competitors and see what they're doing and see if your website, is kind of matching up to theirs. So now you got a great brand. And it really showcases who you are, and it really speaks to the right people. The next step is to create some online real estate, which is a website. Now, websites used to be like a digital business card, and it just kind of had your contact information and that was it. And we all know that websites have evolved from that. You really want your website to be where potential clients come to look for answers. People do not visit law firm websites for fun. I do, but most people are going to a law firm website because they are freaking out about something, okay? They're upset that they just got served divorce papers. They just got some sort of horrible diagnosis. They now need to think about a will. They just got in a car accident. Whatever it is, they need someone, they need legal help. They need your help. And so when they come to your website, they are looking for, now you can't provide legal advice, but they're looking for answers. They're looking to connect with someone, maybe even at 2 a.m. when they can't sleep. They're searching for these answers. You want your website to provide them with enough comfort and enough answers that even at 2 a.m., it's working for you. And then they fill out that contact form and you can call them in the morning. So it's turning casual browsers into potential clients and really very, very strong leads. So let's talk about exactly what you need to have on your website that is really important that potential clients always are going to consider important. The first thing is to stop frustrating your website potential clients. Now, we've all been to a website that it takes forever to load, and forever is like 3 seconds right now. Like we all have the attention span of like a gnat. So, you really need to make sure that your website is fast, that it's mobile friendly, that it really is very easy to navigate. It's accessible. Make sure also, I'm going to say that really consider making sure that your website has equal access to all, which means making sure that it's ADA compliant. Even if you don't have to legally have it be ADA compliant, and a lot of small law firms don't, it's just a nice thing to do when people are vision impaired. If you know anyone who's vision impaired or hearing impaired, it is nice if you have videos. It's nice to have subtitles on videos. It's nice to have alt text on pictures. It's just kind of a nice thing to do. Next, you just need to make sure to speed it up. Now, if you don't know how fast your website is, it's easy to figure out. Go to Google and just type in how fast is my website or something. And there are a lot of different tools that you can use to put in your website, and it'll show you how fast it is. If it's over 3 or 4 seconds, something's up and you need to talk to your people about getting it faster. I'm going to do a quick aside right here. Tough love time again. If you have a Wix or a Squarespace website, one of the reasons that it may not be performing as well as you want it to is because the same things that make those very easy to create are also what bog them down and slow them down and make them not good for SEO. So you are carrying a backpack of weight, that website, with a lot of extra plugins, which make it easy to plug and play, right? But it's also what's causing your website to slow down and not be good for SEO. If you are really starting to think, I'm going to really invest in digital marketing, after branding, the very first thing you should invest in is a WordPress website. The great thing about a WordPress website is once you have it, it's like the good bones of a building. After you have a WordPress website, if you want to change the furniture around and change the layout of it, or the template on top of it, you can do it anytime really easily. So,
and that is your SEO discounted because you don't use WordPress?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Google, yes, because Google, now they're trying. Wix and Squarespace are working it. They're trying as hard as they can, but it's sort of like someone who's an Olympic athlete running a mile and someone who's, 70 pounds overweight with a backpack running a mile. I mean, they're working it, they're trying to get better, but at the end of the day, almost always, and if you don't believe me, just go to the search engine and see who comes up first when you put something in. They will usually always be WordPress websites because they're just more nimble, they're faster. So on your website, you also need to have readable content that is easy to understand, that showcases you as an authority and is consistent. This is where I'm going to start talking about a blog. The one thing you absolutely need to have on your website is a blog, and I'm going to get into it. It's the third part of the recipe. But the reason is because remember how I said you're in a relationship with Google? Once you create a website and Google searches it, it's done. Google will never come back and look at your website again unless you put more new content on it. If you do not do anything else with your website, even if it's a fantastic, gorgeous website, Google doesn't, it's like a garden. It's growing or dying. It's not staying stagnant. And so Google just won't look at it, and your rank, which, if you just started a website, which is low, is never going to get higher. The only way a website grows online. So if you hear, this is the part to take notes, okay? The only way your website grows online, your domain authority, your spaces on Google, is with content. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I want to talk about a little bit more about what you need to have on your website to really attract these customers, these clients. You need to have a fact page. Now, we all know we can't give legal advice, right? You can't do that. But again, when people are coming to your website, they're not coming for fun, they're looking for answers. So we all know that people ask sort of the same questions every time, right? Do I need a will versus trust? Do I need, why do I need an attorney anyway to do my estate plan? I didn't go to the doctor after a car accident. Can I still get money? How long is this going to take? What's a contingency fee? Right? These are questions that a lot of people ask when they pick up the phone. All of these questions can be put on a fact page. And a fact page is really great for SEO as well, because it's a long page with a lot of valuable information. So you just think, how would a lawyer handle my specific situation. What do you charge for a consultation, or is it free? What do I need to give you to get started? What if the accident was partly my fault, right? Questions that people are going to be asking, you can answer those questions. You can say, I work on a contingency fee basis. This is what that means. Typically, divorce takes anywhere from 6 to 18 months. Call us to learn more. So really, it's an opportunity for you to be asking all of those questions that they're freaking out about, and then say, you know, obviously every case is unique. I would love the opportunity to visit with you about specifics. Another thing you need on your website is every one of your practice area pages, and they all need to be separate, not mushed up together. That's an SEO trick. It's called siloing. So if you have, you know, stuff over here about personal injury, you don't want to commingle that, you know, with your business law. So you kind of want to have those very easy to navigate. We've all been on websites that are super easy to navigate. You want yours to kind of look like that as well. Next up, and this is a big one, your About Me, About Us page. This is such rich gold real estate on your website. Do not spend tons of time here. The number one, other than the homepage, then we know statistically that the number one page that people click to first after they get on your website, a law firm website, is the About Me page. It's before fact, it's before practice area, it's before everything. Why? Because at the end of the day, people do business with people. So you can take all of this out, and at the end of the day, you want your website to be as personal as possible. Get pictures of yourself up there. Talk about the fact, you know, all of your awards, all of your accolades, all of your, you know, academic, professional achievements, but also talk about the fact that, you know, you're an avid marathon runner, or you raise German Shepherds, or whatever it is. People really want to see you as a person and connect with you. One caveat here, there was an attorney that wanted to really do a lot of diversity and inclusion on their website, and kudos to them. He was trying, and he put on his About Us page a stock photo image of a couple women and a couple of African Americans and an Asian woman. He's a solo practitioner, and that is really misrepresentative of who, and I think his intentions were in the right place, but it's really important that in these areas, just because we are attorneys, we need to reflect our businesses accurately. So just the one thing I will say is, wherever, now you can do that on blog posts and things like that, but wherever you're talking about your actual services or your About Us page, you need to be putting pictures of you. And speaking of ethical violations and pictures, I just want to say this. Be very, don't be very careful. Just don't do it. Don't use stock photos that are free, because even if they're free right now, there is a scam going on, and it's a very successful scam where people put stock photo images out for free. And it's on all the free websites. And then 2 or 3 years later, they go look for that image on the internet and issue cease and desist letters for tens of thousands of dollars. And they're very successful with these. So my suggestion is to always make sure you either have the rights, the intellectual property to those pictures, or that you use a company like Deposit Photos or whatever to pay for your stock footage or videos, so that those are that you have the legal right to use those. That's just me as an attorney, just trying to protect you. Now, I'm going to do a little aside here. This is like, if you have anybody that's a gamer, this is like a mini game within the game. Okay. So if you're not, that's okay. But this is just like a little aside. Part of your whole SEO is to get more 5-star reviews. So while this isn't exactly on your website, and I will tell you that as an attorney, you are not allowed to take Google testimonials and paste them on your website if you don't have the express permission of that person. Now, I know they put it on there. They put it on there and it's public. And you would think they even have like programs you can put on your website that will pull these Google reviews onto your website. You can't do it. as an attorney. So Google reviews are really important. And when you see people giving you 5-star Google reviews, just send them a quick email and ask them, I want to have written because I'm an attorney. I would just say, hey, is it okay if I use this on my website? So how do you get more of these to put on your website? Because these are really great for your website. First of all, you should be asking early and asking often. So you should be really asking for all the people who haven't, people forget, right? You just want to send them a link in an email. Have it at the bottom of your email signature, even. Leave me a Google review, whatever it is. But here's my secret little ninja hack that some people don't know about. You don't just have to get Google reviews from your clients. You can also get Google reviews from your peers, from people you've worked with. They know your work ethic. They know your business, your work product, what you've done, your ethics. And you can have them say, hey, I've worked with Jill on a case. She's, her integrity is top notch, whatever it is. This can help. But here's another secret ninja hack. You cannot pay people for Google reviews. True. We all know this, right? You cannot pay people or give them a gift basket or anything like that. But you can give someone who works for you in your office, a receptionist, a secretary, an associate, you can give them a gift card. So when people are waiting in your waiting room, or when they talk to the people on the phone, or they somehow have an interaction with someone from your office, you need to tell the people in your office, hey, why don't you try to get whoever's sitting in the waiting room while they're waiting there to give me a good Google review. And every time they do it, you can give them a Panera gift card for $50. So everybody wins, right? You win, you get the review. Receptionist or secretary wins. They've gotten a good review for you. They get a gift card. And then the person is giving you a review, they're helping you out. So that's my secret little ninja hack, a couple little ways that you can get even more Google reviews and best practices. So again, your website is more than just a business card. It is really a place where you can showcase your expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. But the last thing regarding ethical guidelines, this doesn't apply just to pictures. It applies to the words that you're using. Now, you're the best lawyer. I know you are. I know you're the best lawyer, but you can't say it. I know that working with an attorney will get you a better result than not working with an attorney. We all know it, but you can't say it. You have to really be careful with the words that you're using. You can't say that someone will get a better result with you in a personal injury case, or that obviously past results are indicative of future results, or even say something like you're certified. There's some bar, if you don't have an actual certification. So
in Illinois, you cannot hold yourself out as certified in a certain practice area.
Right. Unless you have, let's say you have a certification in, employee benefits. They have like an employee, I did ERISA law for forever. So there's an employee benefits certification. You can say that you have that, but you can't just say I'm certified. So it's really important to follow those ethical guidelines. Always do, you guys already know, you need the disclaimer at the bottom always. You need your privacy policy. I'd be remiss to not say that, but you guys kind of probably already know that. So now you've got a great brand, you've got a great website. What do you do now? The Google bots are not our robot overlords quite yet. Almost, but not quite yet. So it's very important to understand the way that they read content, the way that they analyze content, the way they decide to put one piece of content at the top of Google and the other one, on page 10. It's very important to understand that they do not process information the way a human does. Okay, and remember how I said the only way to grow online is to have a blog that is consistent with authoritative and really valuable content. Now we're really going to get into it. Before you get into LinkedIn and TikTok and Clubhouse and all the things, okay, you really need to worry about your content marketing. But let me convince you, give me a hot minute to explain why. Let's talk about it first, and then I'm going to talk about why it is so important to start here. The first thing is you need to think about content ideas. Where do you get these ideas from? First of all, you can get them from competitors, right? Go and look and see what they're writing, the people that are crushing it. Even people that are not in Illinois, go look at what other personal injury or bankruptcy or business law attorneys are. Now, you can't plagiarize. We all know that. But there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. If you're an estate planning attorney, you should be writing about Bitcoin and your estate plan, or you should be writing about hard to value assets, wills versus trust, pet trust, gun trust, special needs trust. You should be writing about all of this. You can get these ideas from other websites. You can get them from what people ask you, like your FAQ. You can get them from the questions that people are going to ask you anyway, or things that you want to clarify. How does Medicare or Medicaid intersect with an estate plan? Right? That you're showcasing your expertise and authority. Google rewards consistent content. Google will marry you. Google will marry you and put you at the top of their search engine if they know that they can trust that you are putting out consistent, valuable, long content that is 1,000 words or more. So let's say you have now, a list of content ideas that you want to write about. The next thing you need to do is discover a key. Now, keyword is not just a word. It's a phrase that we all put into Google. Wills versus trusts, estate planning for second marriages. I don't know why I'm going on estate planning today, but I just am. So, estate planning for second marriages, whatever it is that we all as human beings are typing into Google, that's called a keyword, even though it's really a key phrase. Okay. So you need to figure out what you can rank for. Now, if you are a criminal defense attorney in New York City, you are probably not going to rank for criminal defense attorney New York City. Okay. There are people out, if you're a new attorney, there are people out there that have been doing this a really long time, but what you might rank for is, can I videotape a police officer in Brooklyn? Maybe you can rank for that. So there's not as many people searching that, but the people that are searching that really need the answer that you have, and you can rank for that at the top of Google. It's more specific. Now, you still want to include in that article that you are a New York criminal defense attorney or Brooklyn criminal defense attorney. You still want to include that, but really think about more keywords that are more specific. Places that you can find keywords. Obviously, there are very powerful tools that digital marketers use. You don't need to use all of those. Look at what Google has. At the very bottom of the first page of Google, there it is. It says people also look for. There's some keywords for you. Use those. When people say, at the top of the Google where it says people also ask, and then it's got those questions, use those. Of course, you can use things like SEMrush and KW Finder and Uber Suggest and things like that. One that's very inexpensive that I found to be very good is actually a Google extension, and it's called Keywords Everywhere. It's just like $10. It's super cheap. And I found that it's not quite as powerful, obviously, as some of the digital marketing tools that I use, but it's pretty good, frankly. So you can see how often a term is searched, how hard it is to rank for that. So you can do a little bit of research on your own. So now after you have content ideas, after you have some good keywords, what you really need to do is make sure that you are creating consistent content. What does that mean? Once a week, minimum. Why? Because that's what your competitors are doing. They're doing it once a week, and I have clients that are doing it 2-3 times a week. So look to see what your competitors are doing and do at least that and more if you want to put on the gas. Regarding content, remember how I said that Google bots don't read content the way we do? The content that you're writing for your website is not just for potential clients. It is for the Google bots as well, make no mistake. So it has to be formatted correctly. So, when you submit something to the court, you don't submit it on a napkin written in crayon. The court would just say no. Or if you decide to do it in Comic Sans font, the court is going to be like, this is ridiculous. I'm not taking this. So, you have all these, have to certain font, double spit, this page intentionally left blank, whatever it is. Google is the same way. If they do not understand the formatting of your article, they're like, I don't know what that says. I'm not processing that. So what you need to do is make sure you have an H1 header, that's the title. You need to make sure that your keywords are in your H2 headers, that you have H3 headers, and that you have bullet points. Google loves it. The way that Googlebot reads a piece of content is actually it goes H1, H2s, H3s, bullet points, and then it searches for common phrases. So completely not like a human being. You also need to have at least 2 outgoing links to authoritative sources. That means .org, .gov, statutes, not CNN or Fox News or any of that. Things that are authoritative. That tells Google, wow, okay, this XYZ law firm is linking to something that's super authoritative. They must know what they're talking about, which you do. We all know you do. And then what you really want to do is make sure that you name your law firm at least twice in that article. People don't like doing it, but you have to, because it helps Google put the pieces of your SEO together. Google is looking at your SEO like a jigsaw puzzle, but they don't have the top of the box. So they're just using all these little pieces. So in your article, if you name, XYZ law firm, Google, it makes it easier for them to go, oh, this matches up with this website, with this Google business profile, with this LinkedIn. So, help.
Can I use Gary Schlesinger as an authoritative source?
I don't know, but maybe. Depends. I'll use the attorney answer. It depends. So now, listen, you've got a great brand. You love it. You've got a great website. It's awesome. You've got tons of content where you show that you are the authority. So it's looking good, kitchen's smelling good, everything's going well. But here's the thing. You cannot build it and they will just come. You have to be like the person at the concert directing traffic to your website. So now this is where social media comes in. A lot of people make the mistake of just starting with social media, but then you're building your real estate on you're building your house on real estate that isn't yours. And we all know people who get Facebook banned or their LinkedIn is down or whatever it is. And you don't want that to be you. So you really, really want to make sure that you're using these social media platforms to get people off of there and onto your website. You don't want them looking at cat videos or Harry Potter memes. Okay, you want them off of that and onto your website. So there are 4 billion, that's with a B, individuals looking at social media, probably every minute. I don't know it's probably by the time that I wrote this, it's even faster, right? And they say that people spend about 2 hours a day. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's probably a lot more. But at the end of the day, we all know, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because we all know how important social media is, but it is a way for you to promote, again, your expertise and authority in such a way that you're showing, hey, I'm the person that you should choose, or I'm the person you should prefer. LinkedIn is great for referrals. I met Catherine on LinkedIn. So, it's a great place to network and, get, it's basically an online golf course, right? That's what's happening. So how do you use social media? This is right here where I'm going to talk about working smarter and not harder, because we don't have very much time. But I want to show you these ninja hacks that you can use to really work smarter and not harder. The very first thing you need to do if you are doing social media yourself is to get a scheduling tool. The one that I like is called SmarterQ because it's kind of inexpensive and it's really powerful. There's other ones. There's Hootsuite, right? Agorapulse. There's a lot of them out there. Once you get a scheduling tool and you put a piece of content on there, it'll go out to Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Business Profile. You can put content now, articles and posts on Google Business Profile. I highly suggest it. And then also Facebook. You can send it all out at once. The great thing about this is once you create a piece of content on your website that you want to promote, remember that apple tree at the very beginning? You are now planting a tree. You can take Smarter Q and click a little box and it says repeat every 4 weeks, every 4 months, every 7 days. And you can have that piece of content repeat in perpetuity, and people won't see it the first time anyway. So so the content that you're creating doesn't just go off into smoke. You're going to get value out of that every 4 or 6 weeks that you decide to pump that out again. And again, it works automatically. So let's talk about repurposing content, because this is really where you squeeze the SEO juice out of an article. Let's say you've written an article. I guess because I'm talking about estate planning, let's go with it. So let's say you write an article called The Advantages and Disadvantages of Wills versus Trusts. So that's your article and you've got it and it looks great. So now you're going to promote it on social media. Well, you're going to promote the article. So the advantages of wills versus, okay, got it. Let's say about 3 or 4 weeks later, you also write on social media, do you know what the advantages of wills are? The advantages of wills are many. Click here to learn more. Now it's linking to the same article, right? And then let's say 4 or 6 weeks later, you write, do you know what the disadvantages of having a will are? Not everyone should get a last will and testament. Click here to learn more. Then a few weeks later, do you know what the advantages of a trust are? You see where I'm going. Do you know the disadvantages of a trust? How do you know whether to choose a will or a trust? Can you choose both a will and a trust? Do you know the basic estate planning documents? How do you know which estate planning document is right for you? Can you avoid probate? Click here to learn more. Reasons you should consider a trust. Reasons you should consider a will. There's 12. There's a year. There's a year of content right there out of one article. So it's called creating micro content. And when you are taking this, you are constantly getting people back to your website. It's making people happy. They're learning about you. It's making you happy because you're showcasing yourself as an expert. You're getting potential clients. It's making Google happy because they're seeing that your website is popular. So you really, really want to take and utilize this strategy to repurpose content. So this is number one, which is to create micro content for social media platforms. But wait, there's more. Now I'm like the ad on TV if you're old enough to know it. But wait, there's more. You can take this article and send it to your email list. You have an email list, right? Please tell me you have an email list. If you have an email list, you can say, hey, did you know I just wrote an article about the advantages and disadvantages of wills versus chick, click here. But wait, there's more. You can also just take your phone and record a little voice snippet of you talking about the first paragraph or two, and then put that on. So we've all seen the social media, you know, like where it has the little thingy of the voice thing. Those are super easy to make. Now you can make these into voice snippets. If you're really ambitious, you can make the whole article into a podcast. Don't tell, that's what I do. And at the end of it, what you can do is make short little videos. You don't need, you know, Scorsese to come out, okay? You can just do, people like authentic videos anyway more. We're all done with Kim Kardashian, airbrushed, all of it. Just put your phone up, talk a little bit about, hey, I wanted to let you guys know today that I wrote an article about, you know, advantages. You know, it made me think, a lot of people think that they need a last will and testament, but that's not always right for people. Sometimes all they need is a trust, and just sit and then put that on social media. So this one piece of content that you've written or had a digital marketing agency write for you can be spread often and in different ways to really showcase you as an expert.
So when I leave court, I could post a podcast and give a review of the judge on my social media, right?
Well, I don't know, be careful. I don't know. I mean, it's different, but really at the end of the day, people are craving, again, really great content and connection with people. People love video. We all love video. We all love, Google loves video. So make sure that you offer your content up in a bunch of different ways.
Just get off my fucking goddamn.
Barbara, watch your language.
So now you've got a great brand and you've got a website and you've got content and you're crushing it on social media. And if you want to do TikTok at this point, because you're bored, go ahead. But then is when you do TikTok, is when you're bored with everything else, you got everything in motion. The last thing, and this is sort of the AP class, it's a backlink strategy. So what is backlinks? Backlinks are when other websites link to you. So remember when I said you create outgoing links from your content to other websites? Backlinks are when content on other websites links to you, like if CNN or Fox News or somebody linked to your law firm, it's good. It shows Google that you're trustworthy because Google goes, oh, wow, UMKC Law School is linking to Annette, which they do because I give them CLEs. So that looks good for me because they link to my website. So the thing is that getting backlinks can be hard, and it's not just quantity, it's quality. So how do you get these very coveted backlinks? And when I'm saying backlinks, I'm saying that like this stuff can like exponentially grow your website fast. So, you can be a guest on other podcasts. They will link to your website then. You can be a guest on local and TV shows, anywhere you can link up with other people and network and have them link back to your website. But here's my super ninja hack about backlinks. There's a website called Help a Reporter Out, HARO. It's free, so we can all afford it, barely. So it's Help a Reporter Out, and you get emails twice a day where reporters are looking for people to give them quotes for their articles. Now it's about everything. It can be about gardening or pet care or whatever. They have a business section, and quite often they will have there will be journalists that are requesting, personal injury. Intellectual property is big because when something happens in intellectual property, they want a quote from an attorney. Immigration is big, business law is big. So it's free. So you sign up and you get 2 emails a day. Now, a lot of attorneys I talk to are like, listen, Annette, I'm getting these emails. I don't have time to, it's a lot. So you can have an assistant, a virtual assistant or your assistant, paralegal, whoever, get these emails and, he or she can just look through it really quick, see if there's anything that you would be able to quote for, be an expert for, and they can just send that to you. So you don't have to look through it all of the time. But that's kind of my, digital, of course you can hire a digital marketing agency to do it for you too. So this is the recipe. And at this point, if you've got a great brand and you've got a great website and you're putting a ton of content on it and you're promoting it on social media, you've got great backlinks, great on-site SEO, well, Google will like what you are cooking. So that is the recipe, and that is the order that you put the ingredients into the recipe. And of course, you can do this yourself. It's a bit of, I have this in here. You don't need it. I mean, you can do, I guess I'll leave it, but you can have a digital marketing agency do this for you, but you can do this for yourself as well. And it's possible to do. It's not, I'll just take that off. It's not rocket science. Anybody can do it. It just takes time. I would highly recommend that if you are going to go with a digital marketing agency, that you really know whether or not they understand the law and whether or not they understand the ethics guidelines that goes along with that, because I deal with a lot of sort of PTSD victims that have really been with other digital marketing agencies that really overpromised and underdelivered and overcharged. If you, and I know sometimes I go fast in this, so if you ever have any questions, this is my jam, as you can probably tell. I would love to be able to just answer your questions if you have them. You can reach me at Annette, Annette, at lockhold.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. And I do have a podcast that you can listen to. I have over 130 free articles. I'll have more soon, but right now I have 130 articles on my website. So if you have a question about digital marketing, there's a good chance that it's answered there. And then I've got my book, which is right there, Click Magnet, which is on Amazon. And the Kindle version of it is like $9.99 or something like that. So
Terrific. Annette, that was more solid marketing information that I ever heard in 50 minutes, ever. Yes, I think you nailed it. I think this is going to be a very
Thank
popular.
you very much.
I think this is going to be a very popular recording, and I'm going to highly recommend it.
Well, like I said, I am an attorney myself. I'm a rubber hits the road kind of girl, and I want to be able to provide practical information and advice that people can then, like, literally when you leave here, you can actually use one or a few of these different ideas to help you grow your law firm online and make some money.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, friends, colleagues, judges, if you want CLE credit and you're a member of the NWSBA, send an email to attendance@nwsba.org. Includes your full name and your ARDC number, and on the subject line, put down, "Thank you, NWSBA." All right, so take that down, write it down, so you can get CLE credit. And I just got a notice from the ISBA that says that if your name is between A to, I think, M, we have to report our hours by September 30th. And join us again on October 12th, when we're going to talk about text messages and how to get them and how to use them in court. With that, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop recording.